Hi there. We're at the Boxing Hall of Fame 2022, and I have the honor to speak with Aaron Snowell, famous trainer, the myth, the legend. Hi Aaron, how have you been today?
I'm doing well. Hey, look, it's a great atmosphere here at the International Boxing Hall of Fame, the trilogy, with so many great, champions and stars from writers, trainers, the inductees, and so many great fighters that are going in. Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali's daughter. I know Layla since she was a little baby. I got my start with Muhammad Ali in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania. So life becomes full circle now. And I'm just happy that I can be here.
Amazing. Since this is a European TV and European channel, can you please let us know which famous boxers have you trained, and whom did you like the most? Let's say who did you become attached the most? Who grew to your heart the most?
Well, the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali. I was around him when I was a kid, and he's the one who got me into boxing. So he's one great. And there was a guy named Iron Mike Tyson. He was undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I trained him when he lost in Tokyo with that great, huge upset. I trained him, and we worked to bring him back from that big, huge loss. So, he's one. Tim Witherspoon, who's a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Frankie Randall, who beat the great Julio Cesar Chavez at the MGM Grand, and of the opening of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And also Julian the Hawk Jackson, who's one of the top 10 all-time greatest punchers in the history of boxing. So I've been blessed to name a few.
That sounds like a very long and rich career. How long have you been a trainer?
Now I've been a trainer over close to 50 years. And from Don King and Carl King, I was a director trainer for Don King for over 35 years. So a lot of those champions and stuff were with Don King. He had a training camp in Orwell, Ohio, and I was the director trainer, and we produced many, many world champions out of there.
You've been a boxing trainer for 50 years.
Yeah.
That's impossible. You don't have 50 years altogether.
Thank you. But yeah, well, God's been good to me. And God's full of blessings. And when He endows something on you, no one can deny it. And when He blesses you with health and looks and things and keep you young, it all's from Him. And, I'm going to tell you something about sports training, a little secret, is that your body is composed of two different types of fiber. One for speed, and the other one for endurance, which is strength. And nothing you can do in life can enhance that ratio, that fiber in your body that God has given to you at birth. The only thing that you can do is train your hardest and your maximum that He already gave you. So by that, when you're able to train guys and you understand that, and when they rise to those high occasions, it's just a blessing from God that guys allow you to push them to that limit that brings out their very, very best. And I just praise God for all the glory.
So, any advice, any words of wisdom to the young boxers who are starting in their careers about what approach should they have in their professional boxing career?
Well, in their boxing careers, like I was, you should be a student of the game of boxing. You should know it. You should know the history of it. Also, learn styles. Learn what kind of style you got. Learn what goes into those styles and how you can improve. If you're a boxer who moves around the ring, watch guys who boxed and move around the ring and how they perfected that movement. If you're a slugger, learn how to come cutting the ring off, stepping to the side, putting pressure on guys. Become the student of the game and learn styles. And most of all, fundamentals. Fundamentals over and over. Form and technique brings speed that brings power, and the constant work of that, the link in the system is your eyes. Your eyes tell your body how slow, how fast to react or contract that motion, and that happens simultaneously. And practice improves that coordination to perfection. The more you practice it, the more your eyes and your body comes more direct and more precise in those movements of coordination. And then you have to go inside the heart. You ever say, well, does that fighter got heart? Yeah, it's called cardiovascular fitness. You got to have the cardiovascular fitness, which is the endurance to carry the task out. You have to practice in training what you're going to do in the fight, is because all of those components come together, and it gives you strength over and over and over. So when you go inside the heart and you do your cardiovascular work like sparring, running, hitting the speed bag, skipping rope, it goes inside. And you can tell when a person's basically in great shape. All you got to do is check their heart rate when they're resting. And most superior athletes, when they're resting, their cardiovascular fitness is geared for the top range, where your heartbeat, maybe 45 beats a minute. They say, wow, seems like this guy's having a heart attack. No, he's relaxing, so his muscle is low. Now, when he starts thrusting all out motion, now the heart rate's high. He can carry the 220 and up to 240 when he's really, really thrusting all out, and to hold that type of endurance and fitness. So, yeah, it's a struggle.
When you think about your trainer career, could you describe some situation with a boxer where you have made the greatest makeover to turn someone who didn't appear as talented, didn't appear to have as much potential as you thought or as other people thought, and that you made a really great makeover of this fighter? And how did you do it?
Well, Frankie Randall, who beat Julio Cesar Chavez, was a great underdog. It was a huge upset. I've been a part of some major upsets in boxing on both ends of the coin. When Mike Tyson lost in Tokyo, huge upset, sent shockwaves around the world. And then Frankie Randall, when he beat Julio Cesar Chavez in the opening of the MGM Grand. A lot of people didn't give Frankie Randall a chance that night. He was a grave underdog. But, you know, when I first started training him, he already had great will and determination. And what we did was work on his fundamentals to sharpen his tool in his conditioning, so he could deliver what he delivered against Edwin Rosario, where he got knocked down and had to get up and knock Edwin Rosario out to become number one. And they still underestimated him. And going into the Chavez fight, I mean, they really they said, no, this is going to be a walk in the park. We're going home early. And Frankie Randall delivered what we practice. Form, technique, and styles make fight. And Julio had the right style that we were looking for, and that he knew we had to match what Frankie Randall can do good anyway. And that was box on the inside, box on the outside, slip and slide, go left, go right, counter punching, and all of that. And that's what you had to do with Julio Cesar Chavez to meet you, because he had pressured so hard. He'd keep climbing a mountain and climbing a mountain. Most guys, he were able to break that mountain that he would take them to, and that platform they couldn't perform over. So we knew that, and I told Frankie Randall in that, I said, he's going to shift gears on you in the fight, but this is why we're working, the running, the sprints, the sparring, the endurance work, the heavy bag, the speed bag, long hours on the rope, long hours riding a bicycle to get that cardiovascular endurance. So when he's punching, he can explode, he can change gears. Your body got gears in it when you're fighting. But if you fight on an even keel, you'll fight that whole night. You got to change the gear. You got to press it on. You got to go through the wall, and you got to do that in training. If you never practice it in training, you can't get in a fight and expect to do it. And however, Frankie Randall did that night, and not only did he beat him, he knocked Julio Cesar Chavez down, and no one expected that. So that was the fight that really coincides with something. To have a loss like that with Tyson and come back with an underdog like Frankie Randall, it shows you how the sport, you stick to it a long time. What goes around comes back around.
I believe that you gave your heart and soul to all of the fighters that you've trained.
Yeah.
Do you believe that it has been a rewarding career for you?
Oh, absolutely. When you stand here in this great Hall of Fame, to have some fighters that I trained, Mike Tyson to be inducted in here, Julian Jackson, who's in the top list of all-time knockout punchers, to be inducted here, Zuma Nelson, who's inducted here. To have those type of guys, Muhammad Ali, who I got my start with in boxing, to be enshrined in here and to be standing here talking about all of that is just a phenomenal of a great. Some people just say that they would be very happy to just have one person that they have trained. I have trained many guys that are on their way to be inducted here.
Are you still doing some training work?
Yeah, I do a lot of training work, consulting, talking to people. They call me up all the time. I got this problem.
Like
what yeah. Hey, look, I'm a student of the game. You can't have it all. You know, you can't take it all in, but you have to give things out. Knowledge, like Muhammad Ali says, knowledge ain't just for you. That's why God gave it to you, so you can spread it around. You give this person the insight, that person the insight, that person. And most of the guys that I have trained, now they have started training fighters themselves. Now they're becoming great trainers. Nate Jones, who was on the 96 team with the Klitschko, he won a bronze. Vladimir won the gold. And now he's training fighters with Mayweather. And he was with me. I trained him for his professional career and stuff like that. But that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. What goes around always comes back around, and you can see how well you were a teacher. Now the student becomes the teacher. And when that happens, you have arrived.
It has been a great honor to meet you and to have a few words with you. Thank you so much for your precious time, and I hope you'll enjoy your career and further work with more young athletes and with other trainers as a mentor.
Yeah, well, first of all, before we leave, in your country and your region, there's a lot of turmoil going on in that region with the invasion of Russia down there, the Ukrainians. I've trained a lot of Ukrainian fighters that were in this country. All I ask for prayer for them and the people of that region is that peace is the answer and love is the answer. You know, when you don't have peace and love, it amounts to war and nobody wins. And there's a lot of bloodshed, lives being lost, children, babies, and all of that. It's useless, senseless. Sit at the table and get peace, because peace is the answer. And we're all here, we're enjoying what peace does here, and that's what we want for other countrymen around the world, is to have this kind of peace where people can come to the table in the areas and have that kind of peace and love and understanding for fellow human beings. It's all about that. So, and thank you. And I want to say all the people in your country, that love is truly an answer, and we love you too. You are our brothers and sisters. Peace.